rose gold trim running the full perimeter of the roofline and window surround on a Cadillac Escalade XL is the detail that makes a Rolls-Royce Cullinan look like it's trying too hard. America just built something the Europeans weren't prepared for. There's one specific acoustic engineering decision in this vehicle's body structure. No American luxury SUV, and no European one at this price, executed at the factory level. Not the audio system, it is not the glass, in the body ceiling architecture itself. See the full breakdown before this video ends. It only makes sense once you've seen the complete picture. Whether $160,000 is the right number, the answer depends entirely on what the vehicle is replacing and who is doing the replacing. The driver, the answer is different than if you're the passenger. These are two very different ownership experiences in a vehicle this size. Very different verdicts. Walking the exterior, going deep on the interior, which I want you to pay specific attention to, covering the powertrain. Before we get to the verdict, I'll tell you where this program actually originated. The Escalade XL brief was not written in Cadillac's standard product planning cycle. The event that triggered this development will change how you read every decision you're about to see. Everyone's attention is going to the rose gold trim. It's everywhere, and it's deliberate. And I understand why it commands the room. But that's not the engineering story here. The engineering story is the curved OLED display system. Not because of the screen itself, which Cadillac already introduced on the standard Escalade, but because of the extended display width on this XL configuration. The wider cabin of the extended body allows the curved panel to span further toward the passenger side, which means the co-pilot gets a meaningful portion of the display real estate rather than a mirrored corner of a driver-focused screen. Rolls-Royce Cullinan has no front passenger infotainment architecture. Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach puts a separate tablet on the center console. Neither integrates both into one continuous curved surface that the front of the cabin shares. Speculative tech number 1. Adaptive display zone partitioning. The curved OLED panel dynamically reassigns display real estate between driver, co-pilot, and navigation zones based on which seat has an active user profile loaded. The engineering logic is that a $160,000 vehicle is frequently operated with a passenger who has as much claim to the front cabin experience as the driver. What it closes is the co-pilot dead zone problem, the unused right quarter of a driver-centric screen that represents a design oversight at this price point. Step into this cabin, because what Cadillac has done with gray leather and rose gold trim at this price point is not what you're expecting from an American manufacturer. The seats are covered in light dove gray perforated leather. The perforation pattern is a precise uniform grid of square dots across the entire seat face, with rose gold piping running the full seam length. The closest comparison is not Lincoln. It is the Rolls-Royce Cullinan's bespoke leather specification, and the Escalade XL reaches a comparable level of geometric perforation precision on the seat face, which is a manufacturing detail that costs real money to execute consistently across a production run. The tilting portrait orientation infotainment tablet on the center stack is the correct ergonomic decision for this vehicle's primary passenger, not the driver, but the rear seat occupant who is frequently operating climate, audio, and seat functions while the vehicle is in motion. The Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach puts rear seat controls on a separate tablet in the rear, requiring a different interface for front versus back. This Escalade consolidates it into one accessible console point that serves both positions. Speculative tech number 2. Biometric climate personalization. Seat-embedded thermal sensors combined with face recognition entry read each occupant's historical climate preference profile and precondition the cabin zone to their preferred temperature before the door closes. The engineering reasoning is that a vehicle this large with 3 climate zones loses its luxury proposition the moment a passenger needs to manually adjust temperature after boarding. What it solves, the 90-second comfort gap, the time between entry and reaching preferred temperature that makes a $160,000 vehicle feel like a $60,000 one at the moment of entry. Missed the mark is the absence of a dedicated rear row entertainment screen visible in these images. At $160,000, with an extended XL body that is explicitly designed for rear passenger priority, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan offers seatback entertainment screens as standard. And a vehicle competing at this price point that doesn't address against the rear passenger's screen access is leaving the most visible luxury argument on the table. The exterior walkthrough is where the full scale of this program's competitive intent becomes unmistakable. Here is what I know about where this brief actually started. The Escalade XL program was reportedly triggered by a specific market shift, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan's U.S. sales increasing by 34% in 2022 and 2023, years when Cadillac's own internal research showed that the top 12% of Escalade buyers were cross-shopping the Cullinan and choosing it specifically for interior material quality, not performance or technology. Cadillac's product intelligence group identified that the gap was not price tolerance. These buyers could afford either vehicle. It was a perception of material fineness. The brief wasn't build a better Escalade. It was build an Escalade that a Cullinan buyer considers and doesn't dismiss on material grounds. That brief is written in the rose gold trim, in the grid perforated leather, in the extended curved display. And when you stand at the rear of this vehicle and look at the proportions, you understand exactly how large an answer Cadillac decided to give. Front to rear, the grille is a large diamond mesh chrome unit with the Cadillac crest centered, broad, planted, stating presence rather than aggression. The front lower fascia carries a subtle dark gray lip element managing airflow to the front brakes. The LED daytime running lights stack vertically in rectangular blocks flanking the grille, a signature that reads as architectural rather than automotive. The wheels are large multi-spoke dark graphite alloys at an estimated 22 to 24 inches. Low-profile performance tires on a vehicle this size confirm the road luxury-only mission. The body sits at standard ride height, air suspension, no lift, no drama. The rear treatment is the most distinctive element. Full-height vertical LED taillights running nearly the complete height of the D-pillar and tailgate, producing a graphic that no other American SUV currently matches, flanked by dual exhaust tips and a dark gray diffuser element at the lower rear. The rose gold trim running the full window surround perimeter, front to rear, is not a styling decision. It is the visual load path that ties every surface decision in this vehicle into a single coherent material language. Now, what makes a vehicle this size feel effortless at highway speed? Engine: 6.2-liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed automatic, 4-wheel drive. In an extended body SUV at this weight, those numbers deliver a refinement of experience rather than a performance statement. The powertrain disappears into the background, which is exactly what a vehicle competing against the Cullinan should do. Speculative tech number 3. Active body acoustic sealing. Pneumatically actuated door and window seals increase compression pressure at highway speeds above 55 miles per hour, reducing cabin noise intrusion by an estimated 4 decibels compared to passive seal systems. The specific gap it closes, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan's 38 dB cabin at highway speed, the standard against which every ultra-luxury SUV is quietly judged in every comparison test. What it eliminates, the low-frequency wind intrusion at the A-pillar junction that reminds a $160,000 buyer they are still in a truck body. Against the Rolls-Royce Cullinan at $350,000 to $380,000, the Escalade XL delivers comparable interior material execution at less than half the acquisition cost, conceding heritage brand prestige and bespoke customization depth. Against the Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach at $185,000 to $210,000, the Escalade XL matches on interior technology architecture and surpasses on third-row access and rear cabin space, giving up Maybach's European luxury brand positioning. The engineering and material case is made. The ownership financial argument comes next. Now, here's what I actually think. Completely straightforward. Cadillac built this vehicle because Cullinan buyers were leaving on material perception grounds, not because the Escalade wasn't capable, but because it didn't feel like it was made for people who had genuinely stopped caring about the money. Trace that brief through the grid-perforated leather that mirrors Rolls-Royce's own bespoke seat specification, through the adaptive display that gives the co-pilot a real stake in the front cabin instead of an afterthought, through the rose gold trim that runs uninterrupted from the A-pillar to the D-pillar as a single material statement, and every decision reads as one coherent answer to one precise perception problem. The unresolved question is whether a Cadillac badge at $160,000 closes the prestige gap that a Rolls-Royce badge at $360,000 has spent decades building? I'm not going to answer that for you. This configuration is expected to price between $155,000 and $168,000 depending on specification. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan starts at $350,000, which delivers unmatched bespoke customization depth, 103 years of luxury brand heritage, and a factory experience that is genuinely singular but does not deliver meaningfully more technology architecture or rear cabin space than this Escalade. The Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach at $185,000 to $210,000 gives you a stronger European luxury positioning and Maybach's specific brand story, but trails this Escalade on rear cabin volume and matches it rather than exceeds it on interior material execution. The standard Escalade Premium Luxury starts around $95,000. The XL configuration adds approximately $60,000 to $70,000 in extended body, interior specification, and technology differentiation. On residual value at 4 to 5 years, the Cadillac Escalade ESV and XL configurations have historically held 45 to 50% of MSRP at year 4, which is stronger than the segment average for American full-size luxury SUVs. The specific material and technology differentiation in the XL package supports the premium at trade-in because the appraisal reflects factory-specified upgrades rather than dealer-added content. For the buyer planning a 60-month hold, the $60,000 premium over a standard Escalade is substantially recoverable in residual advantage. If the vehicle is primarily about what it delivers to the people inside it, rear passengers included, this is the most coherent American luxury SUV package at any price. If the vehicle is about what it communicates to the people outside it, and the Rolls-Royce or Maybach badge is genuinely part of the mission, the Cullinan and GLS 600 Maybach give you more of that specific signal at a higher acquisition cost. What earns this vehicle its premium is not the displacement and not the screen size. It's the material coherence, rose gold trim, grid-perforated leather, extended curved display, and acoustic ceiling architecture, all communicating the same level of intention at every surface the occupant encounters. That rose gold trim running the full window perimeter we opened with? Now you know it's not decoration. It's the most visible signal from a brief that was written specifically to answer the question of whether an American manufacturer could build a vehicle that a Rolls-Royce Cullinan buyer would sit in and not immediately find a reason to leave. I genuinely love your perspective on this. If you've owned an Escalade ESV at the top trim level or sat in a Cullinan, was the material gap between them something you felt immediately or something that only became clear after extended time in both cabins? $160K for this Escalade XL or $185K for the GLS 600 Maybach? Drop your call below. Next video, we're putting the Escalade XL directly against the Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach on the interior metrics that actually determine which vehicle you want to spend 200 miles in. Subscribe so you don't miss it.